How you doing, folks? Welcome back to the channel. I never thought I'd see the day, but it's finally here. The PMDG 777-300ER is now available to purchase, and what an incredible aircraft it is. We're running in the BA livery today because I haven't had time to make my own. I imagine that's going to take a long time and stress me out to no end, but that's fine. So the plan today, we're starting at Dubai, as you might be able to tell from the terminal building, and we're going to head over to Heathrow in this plane. Staying off that sim for this one. I figure it's a new plane, there's going to be a lot to get used to, so I don't want to cause any problems. This is very much a me kind of learning the plane kind of flight. We'll use Beyond ATC along the way, but if it starts being weird and causing us problems, we'll just close it down. We're not going to stress out too much about that side of things. It's more about getting used to the aircraft and figuring out what's going on. So we're here at Dubai. This is the Builds version of Dubai, and we're heading back to Heathrow, which is the Builds version of Heathrow. I've bought all of this stuff with my own money, so there's no sponsorship going on. The plane I bought with my own money, the airport's bought with my own money, but yeah, really looking forward to getting out in this thing and seeing what it's all about. I need to give a massive shout out to Philbert Flies. Philbert put out an amazing 4-hour long video kind of going through in great detail a lot of the systems with a 777 captain sort of instructing him as he went. It was really, really useful, and I made tons and tons of notes, so I'm hoping that that's going to get me through the majority of today. But yeah, I need to give a massive shout out to Philbert. It's an awesome video. Really, really appreciate him putting that one out there. So let's jump in and let's get ourselves back to Heathrow. All right, here we are in the flight deck of the PMDG Boeing 777, and yeah, that's a lot of brown, isn't it? But never mind. Let's jump up to the top panel and see if we can get our plane started up. So first things first, we want to turn our battery on, and we have a GPU connected, so we will turn those on, and on. That's good. You can hear things coming to life. That's what we like. And we will turn on our Adiru. And for now, that's all we need to do up here. Alright, down to the FMC. So let's click the FMC button, top left, and then we need to go to the POSINIT page. And we need to set our initial GPS position. So to do that, we can take our GPS position here, which is there. Click that into the scratch pad, pop that into there, and now the plane sort of knows roughly where it is. Let's put our departure airport into the ref airport. So that is OMDB for Dubai. And we are at gate number F19. So we'll pop that in here as well. And now we can just sort of check that all of these values are kind of similar. They look reasonable. It's not like this one is a million miles away from this one up here. So I would say that's a job well done. Okay, over to the EFB. We've just requested the data from SimBrief. You can see it loading the flight plan in for us there. So that's all going well. Then we will head back to our FMC. Okay, let's go to the route page. And we will click route request. And we will select SimBrief. We will set the payload, we will set the fuel, and we will select the route. Okay, route request has been sent. We'll just give that a minute. There we go. Now we can click load. Give it a second to load in. Need to be a little bit patient with this plane sometimes. And now we can click on activate, and then we can execute that. So that is our route basically imported from SimBrief. So it's a little bit different to the PMDG 737, but nevertheless, it's no more complex. All right, let's go to Preflight, and we will insert our 0 fuel weight, which is handy. Come straight across from the EFB, and now we can go to our legs page and go to RTE data, so route data. And then we can load in our wind data. Again, be patient. And then we can click execute. And these W's mean that there is wind data for each of these waypoints. So if you were to click in here on the right, you would then be able to see more detailed information about the wind at that waypoint. Okay, let's go to the FMC com page. And we will uplink our descent forecast. Click load. There it is. Now we can go to our departures and arrivals page. Looks a little bit different, doesn't it, to how it looks on the 737. That's okay. So we need to select our departure runway and SID, which is runway 30 right out of Dubai. And we're on the... where is it? Where is it? Rider to Foxtrot. And we'll execute that. Back to departures and arrivals. Now into Heathrow. Let's go to the arrivals. And apparently, obviously it's a while away yet before we land, so it might change en route. But apparently we are landing on runway 09 left on the Logan 2 hotel arrival. And we will take that from LAM and execute that. Jolly good. Alright, let's look at our legs page, and we're just going to check through here for any discontinuities, anything that we might need to be aware of. So we're just going to step through our route here, coming out of Dubai. Everything's looking as I would expect. It's a long old route, isn't it? We are going to be using the new feature in the 777, which is called Auto Cruise. So that will compress time down. So basically you don't have to sit in cruise for like 6 hours. You can use Auto Cruise. The route's fine, by the way. You use Auto Cruise and it will increase the sim rate dynamically. So you can just, you know, the sim rate is built into the sim. You can do this with any aircraft. You can put it to like 2x, 4x, 8x, I think even 16x. Trouble is, a lot of these study level airliners really don't like it, and you'll find if you're in cruise, they struggle to maintain their altitude. You end up going up and down like a yo-yo the whole way there. Sometimes you can go off course, they'll miss a turn because they can't react quick enough. So what PMDG's Auto Cruise system does is when it sees a turn coming up, for example, if you're in cruise, it will slow down the sim rate, form the turn, then speed it up again. Really, really nice. Okay, up to the top cabin. So we've got the in-flight entertainment system and the cabin utilities. We can turn those on. Emergency lights, we can arm and guard those. Window heat, we will turn all of those on. And now we have to do some hydraulics. So what we need to do is set the... we have these demand pumps here. And what we have to do is set the bottom right one to auto. This will give hydraulic pressure to the brake system, I believe I'm right in saying. Okay, on our EFIS panel, let's turn airport on, we'll turn traffic on, and we will put our terrain on as well. As for the autopilot panel, we'll get our flight directors on. We will set our runway heading, and what is our runway heading? Let's check the chart just a moment. Runway heading is 299 degrees, almost 300. So there's no altitude restrictions coming out of Dubai, so we'll leave altitude to 10,000 for now, and we'll go from there. We'll be guided by Beyond ATC in any case. Let's arm LNAV, let's arm VNAV, and now would probably be a pretty good time to get in touch with Beyond ATC and get our clearance over to Heathrow. Alright, let's give Dubai Delivery a quick call, shall we? Dubai Delivery, Boeing 902, heavy at stand Foxtrot 19, aircraft type Boeing 777-300ER. Information, Mike is on board requesting IFR clearance to Heathrow.
Boeing 902 heavy Dubai Delivery. Thanks for Mike. Expect runway 30 right. Reader 2 Foxtrot departure, initial climb to 6,000 feet. Squawk 2561.
Expect runways 30 right, the Rider 2 Foxtrot departure, initial altitude 6,000 feet, Squawk 2561, Boeing 902 heavy.
Boeing 902 heavy, read back correct.
Hey.
Contact ground 121.65 when ready for push or start.
Contact ground 121.65 when ready for push and start, Boeing 902 heavy. Good. Let's get our transponder set then. 2561. Okay, so that kind of answers that question, doesn't it? We'll set our initial climb to 6,000 feet and just follow the instructions out of Dubai. That makes it a bit easier for us. Okay, I think it's time for us to run a checklist. So we need to select this button here. This will select our lower center display, which is this one here. And then we can run a checklist on it. If we press the checklist button, which will be bottom left. There we go. So we've got a checklist up here now. Oxygen, we can presume that that's absolutely fine because we're in a sim. Instruments and heading and altimeter we've got sorted out, and parking brake is set, I believe. And then we can say that that is normal. And then we've got our before start checklist. Now some of these will be pre-ticked because the aircraft can sense whether things have been sorted out. Some things the aircraft can't sense, so you'll have to actually check and then tell it that it is okay after that. Okay, time for some work on the EFB, so let's go to our performance tool and see if we can get some takeoff data. So, taking off runway 30 right, and we can import all this stuff from the aircraft. Let's import the weather, and we will calculate that. So, flaps 5 for takeoff and a select temp of 62 degrees. Of course, it is quite warm here in Dubai, so that would make sense. Jolly good. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of put all this stuff over into the FCU. So you've got a V1 speed of 161, VR 165, V2 168. Right, time for the fun job of kind of copying all this stuff and then typing it over into the, not MCDU, the FCU, I should say, seeing as we're in a Boeing. Okay, let's go to init ref over here. So we'll do flaps 5 for takeoff. Center of gravity is there. Trim of 4.0, and we already own 4.0. That's good. Thrust limits, our selected temp was, I've already forgotten, was it 61? 62. Good job I checked. 62. Pop that up there. Okay, back to takeoff. We've got 161, 165, 168. And 161, 165, 168, they all align, so both systems are thinking the same thing, which is always nice. Pop those in there. And we'll take the V2 speed of 168 and just pop it in our panel up top here. Now we can start thinking about getting some APUs fired up. Okay, first things first, we've got this switch here to control the APU. Just flick that to on. And you can see that the forward left fuel pump is off. That's good. That means that's where the APU fuel is going to come from. Now we can turn this one to start. And we'll give the APU just a minute to get started. There it goes. You can see the little flap there on the top. That's opened up to, I think that's the air intake for the APU. Now you'll notice that the secondary external power has been disabled in light of the APU being available. And we can also get rid of the primary one now. Now we're running on APU. And we can disconnect the ground power unit from the EFB. There you go, ground power, release. Back up to the top panel. So we now need to do our hydraulic system. Apparently you need to pressurize the right hydraulic system first, otherwise hydraulic fluid I think can move from the left to the right, whereas this can't happen if you do the right system first. Again, not entirely sure I'm 100% on a lot of this stuff. I just kind of have figured out through tutorials that this is the way you should do it. I kind of feel like the details probably going to come over time. So we need to turn on C2. Then we turn on C1. Then we do left electrical demand pump to auto. C1 air onto auto, C2 air onto auto. Now we can get all of our fuel pumps on and our center pumps too. No need for the center pumps today as we are, I don't even think we have enough fuel on board. Let's just check. Yeah, there we go. We've got fuel in the left, fuel in the right and nothing in the middle, so that would be that would make sense. Despite it feeling like a very long way for a 777, I suppose it's not that much of a long way. Alright, seatbelt set to on. We will get our beacon light on. Where's the beacon light gone? There it is. There's beacon light. And now we'll run a before start checklist. So that should hopefully still be present down here. You can see it sent some of the items that we need to do. So all the doors are closed. The MCP V2 heading track and altitude is set. We've done our V1 VR V2 speeds. CDU pre-flight complete. Yeah. Trim is set. And taxi and takeoff briefing is complete. We'll just say that we've done that. Jolly good. Parking brake set. There we go. Now the next checklist is a before taxi checklist. So we'll get to that in a few moments. So rather than a checklist now, it'd be quite nice to have some engine information on that bottom screen rather than the checklists. So just click engine. Yeah, there we go. So now we've got engine information. That's going to be handy because we're going to be doing a push and start very, very shortly. Okay, chocks are removed. I do believe it's time for a push. Now, do I dare use GSX for a push? Not 100% it's going to work because obviously the 777's pretty new. What to do? Let's contact ground and get our push clearance in any case. Dubai ground, Boeing 902 heavy at stand Foxtrot 190 requesting push and start.
Boeing 902 heavy Dubai ground, pushback and engine start approved. Face northeast.
Push and start approved, face northeast, Boeing 902 heavy. So we're going to want tail to the right, nose to the left, I think. That northeast instruction's a little bit confusing, I think. Looking at the charts, it doesn't make total sense. In fact, let me show you real quick. So here's us over here, the little pink arrow, and 30 right is all the way over here. So I presume they want us kind of pointing in this general direction. So we'll do nose to the left, tail to the right, and then hopefully that'll be fine. Let's risk it. Let's try GSX. Okay, so we're going to do nose to the left.
Release parking brakes, please.
Okay, let's release parking brakes. If I can.
Release parking brakes, please. Commencing push.
There we go.
All engines clear. Start at will.
Okay, push looks reasonably okay. Now let's think about getting these engines started. Okay, so top panel, left engine switch to start. Then we come down and add the fuel. And it's as simple as that. Notice how we haven't had to mess around with any AC systems like we do in the 737. Okay, back up top, right engine into start. And then we simply add the fuel. So easy. So simple. Love it. Alright, let's set flaps to 5. Okay, you can see the right generators coming on now that the second engine's coming online. That's good. Let's tell GSX to go away. The sooner they go, the better.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking gear.
Okay, I don't think we're going to need any anti-ice. That's all on auto anyway. So we can turn the APU off now. My only reservation is what to do about these packs. They are apparently off. Oh wait, it's on auto. It's on auto, they're not off. It's on auto. Let's leave it alone. Let's not touch it. That's one of the benefits actually of the 777 is that you don't actually need to mess with the AC. Notice how we haven't had to do anything regarding...
Pin removed.
Shush. Notice how we haven't had to do anything regarding
Left
AC.
is clear. Right is clear.
Alright, let's run a recall. Let's do our before taxi checklist. Anti-ice is auto, recall checked. Auto brake will set to rejected takeoff. Flight controls, ground equipment is clear. Anything we haven't done is flight controls. Where do we go for that? FCTL. Where we can pull the yoke back and forward. That's all good. So now back to the checklist. We can say flight controls are set. Checklist complete. And we've already set our flaps to 5, so before takeoff is complete. Now the next thing we need to do is our after takeoff checklist. Alright, let's get some taxi lights on. So we'll do turn-offs as well. I suppose it can't hurt. And we can request our taxi clearance. Dubai ground, Boeing 902 Heavy, ready for taxi.
Boeing 902 Heavy, runway 30 right, taxi via Zulu, Kilo, Kilo 4. Hold short, runway 30 left.
Taxi to runway 30 right via Zulu, Kilo, Kilo 4. Hold short, 30 left, Boeing 902 Heavy. Alright, let's bring up the chart so you can see. So we're going to go Zulu, then on to Kilo. Then Kilo 4 is just here. We're going to hold short of runway 30 left. So basically second left and then hold short. That we can do. Alrighty, we're off. Let's go. Now, turning's a big thing with this, isn't it? Kilo 4 here on the left. Nice ground markings. Thank you, Unibuilds. Because, of course, we're in such a long aircraft. You almost need to oversteer, because the goal isn't really to keep your front wheel on the lines. It is to keep your back wheels on the lines. I'm not sure I'm doing a particularly great job, but it's my first outing in this, so I'll let myself off. Okay, now we're going to hold short. Runway 30 left. Or 12 right, however you rather refer to it as. Oh, I'm almost afraid to give it too much power, just in case, like, we start taxiing too fast. Okay, gently bring us to a stop here. Hi. Wasn't expecting that. Didn't realise I had any sort of multiplayer on. That's weird. Dubai ground, Boeing 902 Heavy, holding short 30 left at Kilo 4.
Boeing 902 Heavy, cross runway 30 left at Kilo 4. Continue taxi via Kilo 4, Mike 7 Bravo, Mike 13 Alpha.
Alright, I'm going to need to cheat for that. Mike 7 Bravo. Then Mike. Then Mike 13 Alpha. Okay, so we're going to cross the runway. What was it? Kilo 4, then Mike 7 Bravo. Then onto Mike. Continue down here onto Mike. Then it is Mike 13 Alpha here. Okay, so actually quite a straightforward taxi. Really not sure what that plane's doing there. I'm just going to check if I've got any multiplayer enabled. Weird. Don't know what was going on there. Okay, so let's cross. And we'll need our strobe on if we're crossing a runway, won't we? So cross the runway, then make a right onto Mike. And again, we need to pay attention to the way we steer. So I'm going to go roundabout now. Yeah, not sure I've quite got this down yet. Maybe I have. Not sure. That's going to take some practice. Yeah, definitely haven't. Feels like my back wheels are now to the right of the centre line. Okay, let's get that strobe off now we're off the runway. So basically keep going along here on Mike until we get to Mike 13 Alpha. And that's our turning point onto the runway. Okay, so we've got Mike 13 coming up on the left here. We want 13 Alpha.
902 heavy. Contact Dubai Tower 119.55.
What's that tower? 119.55 Boeing 902 Heavy. Alright. Here's us. So again, we will try and oversteer our way through this. So I think it's you sort of get the line level with you. Roughly. And then start the turn. It's tricky. It is tricky. I'd say that probably went alright. I don't know, maybe not quite right actually. Maybe not quite right. Yeah, we're going to need some practice on that for sure. Okay, let's get our parking brakes on. We'll switch over to tower, which I've already forgotten the frequency. 119.55. 119.55. Dubai Tower, Boeing 902 Heavy, holding short at Mike 13 Alpha for runway 30 right.
Boeing 902 Heavy, Dubai Tower, wind 300 at 8, runway 30 right, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, 30 right, Boeing 902 Heavy. Okay, let's see if we can get this turn right. Looking out the window. Alright, let's start the turn now. Not sure how this is going to go. No, that was way too wide. Damn it. I'll get the hang of it eventually, I promise. Let's do our first takeoff in the Boeing 777. Holding it on the brakes. Power set. Airspeed alive. Everything seems okay so far. Are we going to get the V1 callouts from the plane? I think we do.
V1.
Yeah, rotate. Up we go then. Nice and gentle, we don't want a tail strike. Positive rate. Gear up. Beautiful.
Boeing 902 Heavy, contact Manhattan departure 122.5.
122.5, 902 Heavy. Departure, Boeing 902 Heavy with you at 2,000 feet.
Boeing 902 Heavy, Meinhardt departure identified. Climb to flight level 190.
Climb to flight level 190, Boeing 902 Heavy. Let's get some autopilot on the go here, shall we? So I can do this. Flight level 190. Don't have any constraints in our flight plan, so that's good. Okay, flaps up. Oh, look at that view. Let's get an engine view. Excellent. So after checklist complete, after takeoff checklist is complete because it knows the gear is up, it knows the flaps are up, and there's nothing else left to do prior to descent. Yeah, so as far as departures go, this one's been pretty simple. There's only been 2 climb instructions and basically a straight line all the way out of Dubai. So what we're going to do, I'm going to let the aircraft get to top of climb, and then we're going to have a play with the auto cruise feature. So this is a pretty big deal as far as I'm concerned, because one of my concerns prior to this airliner coming out was, you know, I'm not going to sit here for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 hours doing long haul. I honestly can't imagine anything worse than that, actually. Yeah, I kind of start getting itchy feet if I do anything more than 2 hours or 2.5 hours. So there's absolutely no way I'm going to sit here and do a long haul in real time just to say that I have. If that's your thing, good for you, but it's certainly not mine. So we'll let the aircraft get to top of climb, we'll enable auto cruise, and hopefully that will whiz us along. And like I said at the start of the video, for those that missed it, it kind of dynamically adjusts the sim rate. So you can just adjust the sim rate if you want to, but that might be a bad idea, because sometimes airliners, especially the study level ones, they do tend to get a bit confused if the sim rate is too high. It's like they can't keep up. So what this will do, what PMDG's auto cruise system will do, is it will dynamically adjust the sim rate. So if you've got a turn coming up, the sim rate will drop, and that will then allow the plane to manage the turn nicely, and then when you're back on the straight again, it will then speed up the sim rate. So super cool technology, and I'm looking forward to checking it out very, very soon. Alright, so we are basically at top of cruise, and obviously I don't really fancy sitting here for the next 6 hours or so. So what we're going to do, we're going to use auto cruise, which is up here. Very small little button, so keep a lookout for it. We can got some options. We can do auto step climbs. Now if you were on VATSIM, you would wait until you were given clearance for step climbs or ask for step climbs. So the idea behind a step climb is, as you burn fuel and become lighter, it's optimal to go to a higher altitude. The plane can fly more efficiently. So what we can do here, we've got auto time compression. That's turned to on. Let's put on step climbs. We'll leave step climbs off. And we'll turn on pause at top of descent, just in case we make a mistake. And the maximum time compression we can set, we've got it onto 4x. I'm tempted to try 8, just to see what happens. I mean, we're on a fairly beefy PC here at the moment. Let's see what happens. So the sim rate is now set to 8x. So let's see what's going on in terms of frames. Seems to be alright, doesn't it? You can see if you look out the window just how fast we're going. So this is a really cool way to get around sitting out over the Atlantic for hours, or just in a super long cruise for hours and hours and hours. I think this kind of brings long haul more into what's what I would consider to be an acceptable time frame to be on the sim. You could probably do a long haul like this in the same time as you would do, say, Gatwick to Alicante if you're running at 8x. So we could probably do this cruise in under an hour. So it's really good. And here during a turn, the auto cruise feature will slow the sim rate back down so that the plane can manage the turn nicely without sort of overshooting and messing it up. Then once we're straightened out, it will speed back up again. Alright folks, so the auto cruise feature seemed to work quite well. It got us across from Dubai in what seemed like no time. I'm not entirely sure quite how long it took to get across, but we're here now approaching London. I did have a bit of an issue though, because I turned on, there's a feature, let me see if I can show you, just down here, pause at top of descent. I had that on and it paused and I thought the sim had frozen, and that took me a while to figure out, and then I think I unpaused it without realising it, and then I was still trying to unpause it. It was really weird. By the time it had actually unpaused, I was like most of the way over London, so I had to sort of backtrack, and there's a lot of drama, so I've cut all that out of the video, and now we are coming into Lambourne, which is our transition. We're going to do runway 27 right now. We've been told by Beyond ATC, so that's fine.
902 heavy, cleared direct Lambourne VOR, cross Lambourne VOR at or above flight level 070, cleared ILS runway 27 right.
Cleared ILS 27 right and Lambourne at 7,000 feet. Boeing 902 heavy. We do have an
Negative cross Lambourne VOR at or above flight level 070.
Cross Lambourne VOR at or above flight level 070, Boeing 902 heavy. My bad. Okay, altimeters are set. Speed brakes. This is our landing checklist, so we need to make sure our speed brakes are armed, landing gears down, flaps are 30. That's fine, and it should be able to auto-sense all of those as that happens. We do have an insufficient fuel warning, and that came on before all the drama happened with the pausing and the unpausing, so I don't know quite what's gone on there, if I'm being completely honest. We need to do a speed intervene, I think, to get us down to 220 knots for Lambourne. This is a slippery aircraft after all. So we'll live in hope for a half-decent landing. This will be the first landing. I haven't done any other landings in this plane. It's not like I've been practicing before and I've come on here to make the video. This is literally, I installed it, I booted it, and this is what we're doing. So we'll see. Apparently you don't need to flare it that much at 30 feet. Like really not much. You just want to arrest that level of descent down just a bit. Alright, let's go flaps 20. And let's go speed 160. Alright, this is what you've all come to see, I'm sure. Oh man, we've got to land this thing. 3.5 tons of fuel left is not a good place to be in. Picture's looking alright. We need to be over to the left a bit. This is Unibuild's version of Heathrow, first time landing here as well. Hopefully I installed it correctly. Picture's looking alright. A little bit more power I fancy, just to keep us just above that ref speed.
500.
Nose down, come on. Got 3 whites now, that's not what I want. There we go, that's better. Put that nose down. Car park loading in there, love to see it. Alright, eyes on the prize. Let's go.
100.
50 over the threshold, please.
50.
There we go.
30. 20. 10.
Oh, that'll do. Right on the markers. 200 feet per minute. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay, reverse green. Keep it rolling, keep it rolling, keep it rolling. High speed exit coming up here. Very nice. Yeah, that was a really nice plane to hand fly. Very, very nice plane to hand fly. Okay, let's get beyond ATC to find us a gate.
Heavy. Request taxi to company gate.
Boeing 902 Heavy, welcome to Heathrow Airport. No suitable gates for your aircraft exist at this airport. Taxi at pilot's discretion.
Taxi at pilot's discretion, Boeing 902 Heavy. Thanks, beyond ATC. Let's close you down, shall we? Wonderful. So there you have it. That's our first flight in the Boeing 777. The only thing that bothered me was that fuel quantity. Maybe SimBrief didn't give us quite the right amount of fuel. Not entirely sure what went on there. Maybe it's a me thing. Maybe it's a SimBrief thing. I don't really feel like I'm well informed enough to make a call on that at this point. But that's okay. But yeah, we can figure that out. This is flight number 1. There's always going to be odd little bits that happen on a first flight in a brand new aircraft. Right. Let's see if I can get this one right. I don't think I've got it wrong already, to be perfectly honest. Oh, I don't know, that wasn't too bad. This oversteering thing, it takes a while to get used to. Right, can we fit in one of these? Not sure if we can, but we'll try. Very nice. Well, I definitely feel like after that flight, I kind of feel like it mostly went okay, and I'm probably alright to take this thing onto VATSIM. We're never going to get in there, are we? We're never going to get in there. So yeah, I think the live streams can definitely commence now with this plane, for sure. Get us on VATSIM, get us flying around. The auto cruise, I think, is going to be the key. And I did ask on the VATSIM forums about whether it's okay to start your flight, obviously on VATSIM, doing everything properly, then disconnect, then do your auto cruise, then reconnect when you get nearer to your destination. And the consensus seemed to be that would be okay. I'll put a link to the forum thread in the description of the video if you want to keep up to date on that. But yeah, I think other than the weirdness with the pausing at top of descent, I think that was all fine. I just won't do that next time and it won't be an issue. But what a plane. Just so glad to finally have it in the sim. Really am glad to have it. Absolutely wonderful plane to have. Anyway, folks, I'm sure me taxiing to a gate isn't the most exciting of content, so I'm going to leave this one here and say thank you very much indeed for watching. And get subbed, hit the like button, all that good YouTube stuff. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.